Earlier in the year, Google showcased some of their latest technology advancement during their machine learning forum that took place in Nairobi, Kenya. Principal scientist of Google, Blaise Aguera, joins on the show to discuss how artificial intelligence is changing the way we carry out activities and also revealing some of the milestones they have attained in the era of image recognition, language translation, speech recognition, natural language understanding, and voice search engine.
AI is a broad set of technologies that are designed to let computers do some of the sorts of things that we normally do, to be able to understand the natural world, understand language, reason, do things that normally biological brains do well. And machine learning is a discipline within AI that's been around for many decades, but that involves learning patterns from data, and is one of the fundamental techniques in AI.
Please, can you share some examples of what machine learning can do?
Sure. So one machine learning problem that has become interesting in the last few years is recognizing objects in photos. And this used to be a very hard problem, and one that we didn't really have good solutions for. When I say objects in photos, I mean, if a picture is of a person, on a mountain wearing skis or something like this, then being able to say, this is a ski scene, this is a snow scene, and the reason that that's useful is because if you are taking thousands of pictures with your phone and you want to be able to sum it up, a picture of yourself with somebody or in some situation or whatever, then being able to do that kind of search and pull those pictures up is something that AI enables.
Some people have trust issues when it comes to the use of technology because they feel they might be vulnerable to some certain attacks. What's your take on this?
Well, I do think that anytime we use technology, anytime we invent technology of any kind, there always can be ways in which that can be misused, or ways in which it can fail us. So I don't know. I mean, the first human technology, I think, arguably was fire. And obviously enormously useful for cooking food, but you also have to practice fire safety and not burn down your house, right? I don't think that AI or machine learning's complexity is itself the issue. I think when I think about sort of the problems, they have more to do with, for example, you talked about inappropriateness, right? If I'm using AI to do auto replies for my emails and I'm not paying attention, and one of the suggestions is like violating some social norm, right? Then that's sort of the kind of trouble that AI today can get us into. And there are a lot of things that we can do as engineers to try and protect against those situations, but we also have to be responsible users of the technology.
Google's much-lauded voice control interface, Google Assistant, is gradually being embedded to different local environments, with regular software updates that help its artificial intelligence comprehend different accents and also provide local relevant information as against putting on an exaggerated Western voice when trying to access it.
We're doing pretty well with accents nowadays. We actually did some demos and some experiments just today, where I don't know if you were one of the people who came up, right, and asked, right, and so it's doing pretty well at different accents in English. I mean, I don't know if you hear, I mean, I have a little bit of an accent myself, so I'm sensitive to that. Speech recognition used to not work for me either. Now, languages are harder because we need essentially enough data in any given language in order to let machine learning learn it. And one of the problems with machine learning today relative to human learning is that it still needs a lot more data than a human does. We take millions and millions of examples of something to learn what with a machine what a person can learn by the age of 2. So we're working on it. And one of the problems, especially with Xhosa and languages like this, right, is that there's not enough data online for us to do a great job yet. So we're trying, but the main challenge is being data limited in languages like that.
Please, can you tell us the difference between Google Now and Google Assistant?
I mean, I should say also that Google Assistant is a new product that has only been around for a year or less, and actually takes Google Now and a number of other Google products as kind of parts, right? Those are parts of the Assistant now. What Google Assistant does is it combines the personal context, the personal knowledge that was the main component of Google Now, right? That would sort of recognize plane tickets and things that came in an email and so on. Combines that with everything that came from search, with knowledge about the world and the knowledge graph and all this kind of stuff, and pulls it all together into a single conversational interface. Right, so when I say conversational interface, I mean the Assistant is really designed for you to have a dialogue with, as opposed to Now, which was mostly about a subset of that functionality showing up on the screen.
Artificial intelligence is set to make our society a more productive one. As with the first industrial revolution and subsequent periods of technology innovation, the human skill that people have needed to make the most out of these developments have driven a new distribution of jobs in our society.
Well, I do think that jobs change as technology evolves. And we've seen many examples of that in the past. Most of the job descriptions in 1850 are not jobs that exist anymore. Not because of AI, but just because of technology and social change more broadly. In the past, all of those technological changes have overall improved standard of living for everybody. And I think there is a good argument that AI is just another such technology, and not fundamentally different from all of the ones that have come before.
Finally, before I let you go, what has the feedback been like, and what should we expect next?
So really, the Assistant is the place where I think a lot of the action is going to be happening over the next year. The reviews that I've seen have been largely positive. The place where I think the Assistant is strongest is actually where Google has historically been strongest, which is the sort of world knowledge, right? Answering questions about the world. It also, of course, has access to the same kinds of information that Google Now had, and so your calendar and all these kinds of things. I expect that a lot more work will happen over the coming months and years in letting the Assistant take actions for you on your behalf. That's where I see a lot of the next.
One thing is clear: these disruptive technologies are here to stay, and if Africa must compete, then we need to start building the right skills around them. That's it for our show today. Please follow us on social media. This edition, as well as the previous ones, can be seen on the Channels TV YouTube account or via my blog cfatech.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwuemeka Agbata.